So Best Friends was technically started all the way back in 1978. There was a group of 25 to 30 people who began bringing in animals that were being deemed unadoptable due to behavioral, health reasons, or timing out. And after doing that for a while, they ran out of room on their small ranch outside of Prescott, Arizona, and had to go on the hunt for more land. They found that there were 3,000 acres for sale out here. They secured that, and we have been operating here ever since 1984. We've also doubled. We own a total of 6,000 acres, but we operate on 4,200 of those with our 1,600 animals. We try not to go too far above that 1,600 mark. That's what we're comfortable with here with our 400 roughly employees on site. It looks like the pigs and goats are just finishing up breakfast. So we've got like roughly 40 pigs here, and then goats we're only at about 15. Not too many goats here at a time. For the pigs, has anyone here ever heard of a teacup or a micro pig? Did you know that they're not real? Our smallest pig is roughly 100 pounds, and our largest is like 250 pounds. Pigs can start having babies when they're like 4 or 5 months old. So that's going to be a really small pig having an even smaller pig, but they are not full grown until they're roughly like 2 or 3, and no such thing as a teacup.
Where do most of the pigs come from?
Surrenders. People can't keep them in their homes anymore because they outgrow their homes. That, or surprisingly, a lot of strays. Strays.
Really?
People are sometimes convinced that if a pig gets out, that's no big deal. They'll just become wild. No, not the case. They're very smart. Pigs are the 8th smartest animal in the world. They're adaptable, but they can be kind of invasive to the land if they get out and they're... I know Texas is having a problem with it. New Zealand has had a problem with it. If you let pigs out and let them just be free, they're going to destroy some land in the process. But we can walk over here and say hi to some of these pigs, and then we might want to wait until they're finished eating. Otherwise, all they care about is food. Is everyone here wearing closed-toed shoes?
Yes.
Perfect. I just noticed that the pigs were eating, so I figured we'd start over on this side.
No, that's fine.
All right, there's a couple things I gotta go over before we go in. All right, before we go in with the goats, I'm gonna warn you, the fences are on. These are electric fences. You do not want to touch them. It'll be very shocking. Goats can jump as high as 5 feet, so we gotta have that. We also don't allow them to rub their heads on us. If they are, we just stomp at them. I'll also carry a spray bottle. Them rubbing their head on you is similar to, it's like inviting play. We don't want to play their game. They can play with each other. Goats have little air pockets in their head. We don't. And I'm going to have you guys stick close to me. That way I'm able to let you know who is able to be pet right now and who's not.
Hold on, baby.
There you go.
Good morning. All right, if you guys want to follow me through, I'll introduce you to some of our goats.
Papa, hang on to her.
This is Rusty. Rusty is in charge in here, not of us, of the goats. Goats have a little bit of a hierarchy.
Why do you eat that?
He's eating some hay.
They like this.
We'll continue on in here and meet Pumpkin Spice.
Come here.
Meet Pumpkin.
Oh, where's Pumpkin?
Right here is Miss Pumpkin. She is breathing her
Where's your phone, Mama? You want to take some pictures?
Can we pet you? Yeah, we can pet her. We're gonna avoid touching their horns or their heads. Just, we don't want to invite play.
So just like the
Okay,
body.
Yeah, just their body.
Don't get too close.
So goats do have feeling in their horns, and some of them you'll notice don't have their horns. We don't condone removing the horns, no matter how it's done. It's not comfortable
Why
for them.
don't you go in there?
We actually have 15.
15 goats?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right over here is Millie.
Really?
Millie. They're saying it is breakfast time, guys.
Stay.
Over there is Giselle and Bibi. Giselle would be a good one to come over and say hi to. Giselle loves people.
Which one is Giselle?
She's this one right up front here.
This one?
Yep, right here. So a goat's horns is actually, that's how they temperature regulate their body temperature. So when their horns are removed, it kind of takes the ability away a little bit. They can overheat a little quicker.
What's that?
That's a salt lick. They gotta have salt to keep themselves hydrated. Caregivers got a really good picture of them one day, so they just put it on a shirt. I think when that shirt was released, I saw more staff than ever in that gift shop. We're gonna meet in this middle area first, and we're gonna be going in with these guys. But I'll open the door once I tell you about who we're not going to approach in here.
Wait, there's two?
There's 40 pigs here. Pigs are our least adopted. We will not adopt them out to go live in somebody's home. So that does make it a little more difficult for getting them out. It's just not fair to them to have to go live in a home. It's not what they're meant for. Alright, so the only pig we're not going to approach is Charlotte here. Petunia, though, once she finishes her lettuce leaf, probably like a belly rub. Petunia's this Kuni here.
I like the one that has a lot. That's Petunia.
That's, yep, Petunia is our Kuni in here. Her breed originates from New Zealand. And then a good example of what teacup pigs actually are is Charlotte over there was adopted as a teacup pig.
Oh my gosh.
She's not teacup size. Kevin is our only pink pig. That boy requires a lot of sunshine. They also have been known to pick flowers and things that they find pretty to decorate where they sleep.
Does this legs hurt?
One of her back legs don't hurt very well. I don't know what happened. She was found as a stray. She gets around great. You coming over for your belly rub, Petunia? Come on. So, yeah, pigs are actually one of the cleanest animals. I think one of the only reasons they got that stigma is they have to roll in mud and water because they can't sweat.
So they use that to keep cool.
Mm-hmm. They gotta cool themselves down.
Why does he not want that relief?
I don't know. He's digging in the dirt right now. Look at his nose. See his nose digging in the dirt?
Why?
Maybe he's looking for food.
Okay. Why do y'all like to decorate something?
That's the way his skin is.
And why does he got rest of him?
He's kind of pink, isn't he?
Yeah. Why is he pink?
They're like, no. I'm like, follow him come over there. He laid down in the pool, showed his belly. They were rubbing his belly. They walked away, and I'm like, oh, no. He wasn't done. So he gets up and corrals them back over there. He's like, belly. And some shelters, like in Washington and Oregon, they're doing so well with their cats that they've actually had to ask us to send them cats to their shelters to get them adopted. We've got brand new lodges back there. Those are the Shipley Lodges, brand new. They were just able to start moving dogs in there roughly a month ago. And that's some new single dog living or behavioral living. Not all dogs can live with other dogs. Some have to be the only dog in the home. And while some of those guys are available for adoption already, we just already know to require that they have to be the only dog in the home. Our shipping and receiving building, that is a catio because there's a working cat in there. One of our largest donations is food. He guards the food. And then Dogtown headquarters. That's where you check in for your volunteer shifts, starting at age 16. And then they would give you a map to which of the, I think we're at like 40 something different dog areas. I know I definitely needed that map before I worked here. And that building has what's called a real life room. Sometimes we receive dogs here who've never been inside a home before. They don't know what that looks like, and that can be scary to them. So we want to show them everything that they might experience in a home here first to work with them before we adopt them out to a home. That's also what we do with this building over here that you can see the roof of. This building has multiple purposes. In there we're able to show them doorways, stairs, different types of flooring, mirrors, things like that. But it's also an agility course for extra enrichment, or if the weather's not amazing and they don't want to go play at their 2-acre dog park with the pool, they can go to the agility course. This is our clinic. This is primarily a sanctuary animal vet, but on certain days and certain hours they do support the locals with low-cost spay and neuter and vaccinations, but the first and main priority is always the 1600 here. Got someone out on their morning walk. Dogtown Heights, our gated community. We like themes here and we name everything. So first up is puppy admissions or puppy care center. That is the admissions building for if they are under 6 months of age. We used to move them over from admissions over to puppy preschool, but well, one, puppies are popular. Usually they're adopted way before that transition would even happen. Also, we have amazing local foster families willing to take on our litters of puppies. And we like to have it. It's nice to have them in a home for those first couple months. So puppy preschool, they're changing into an adoption hub, and I'll have to check back at the welcome center to see if they are able to open today. I know they are hiring staff for it so that they're able to give guests coming through more interaction. The gated community. So when I drive you through Cat World, I'm able to give you like pretty much a specific use for every single building. With our dogs with group living, that's not as much of the case. The main priority is that we pair them based on who they're going to get along with the best. Before I tell you a little bit more about that, what would a gated community be without a fitness center? That has an underwater treadmill that can be used for weight loss and rehab, and it doesn't have to just be used for the dogs. If any other animal here can use it if they fit. And what I was saying with that they just get along is the main priority. Is this is Old Friends. It used to be 8 years old and up, but what they've been doing is the beginning of every week, the team leads are all going to meet to go over who all is currently at admissions and ready for where they're going to be placed. They go over the temperament style. Before they release a dog in a new run, they introduce that dog to everybody separately first. And as long as that goes well, they put that dog in the run, but the first couple times are always monitored. I don't know this pup's name, but the other one in here is Tiny Tot. Well, right over here. Tiny Tot is a very confident boy, so sometimes they put smaller or younger, shyer dogs with him, because dogs are they learn a lot from each other. Animals kind of in general learn a lot from each other. My cat he's a kitten and he's growing up with a dog and he kind of thinks he's a dog now. We always have jump fencing. The fences also go 3 feet into the ground and in some cases curve.
How many dogs do you have?
We currently have, I think we're at like 430 something. This octagon shape that we have for our building, it allows for the dog or the caregiver to be located in the middle, and the dogs know that the caregiver is there because they can see their caregiver is there because they're located in the middle. This is the fairway, and it has a little bit of a purpose. This is an X-pen or an X-run. Some of these guys have extra zoomies, and if they really need to, they can run the perimeter. They have to be let out to do it, but I used to volunteer in this run. There's Padme back there. Oh, and then Mowgli. And Maisie's hanging out. Oh, she's going inside. They're waiting for their morning walk. They get very, very excited. They would like their turn. We always have 2 dog doors because with group living, somebody is going to guard the door. So we give them 2. Can't guard both. The buildings are always temperature controlled for them. Heated floors, they don't lay on a cold floor. I know some of these guys too. I know Mr. Snuggles is all the way over here by himself. Aspen is sitting with her back to us closest. Katara is the brindle in there. And I don't know the other one in there yet. Haven't learned that name. He's new here. Mr. Snuggles is only like 6 months old. He's gonna be a big boy. We like to give him little kiddie pools when it's warm. Lots of shade outside, but also they know the AC is inside. They have indoor-outdoor access 24/7. Natural light from the ceiling. And then all of these buildings are either named after the person that paid to have them built. These are all donated to us, or an animal that has lived here. The white dog in there, that's Strawberry. I recently heard that Strawberry loves golf cart rides so much that Strawberry screams the entire golf cart ride.
From joy, not
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, it's joy. Just so excited to be out on that golf cart ride.
Wow.
A lot of them really love their golf cart rides. Thanks to our number of volunteers that come through, these guys are able to go on multiple walks and outings and sleepovers. We have a dog park over here that is very special. It will only ever be used for dogs who have brucellosis. Highly contagious, but also really, really rare. Out of like the 400 and something that I said we have, only 2 have it. And we built them their very own dog park to use, because no other dog can use that.
What is it?
It's like a bacterial thing that we can't cure, but I've heard we can manage it. Like they're still living happy, healthy lives for the most part. But it is highly contagious and we don't want it to spread, so we do keep them separate.
Kind of like feline leukemia.
Yep, we keep the feline leukemia kitties all together. But I'll tell you a little bit more about things with that when I get to Cat World. There's a vaccine for it now. Right over here is Little's Laundry. Mostly just where laundry is done. We don't have too many little dogs here. Not enough to have a whole separate area for little dogs. They're adopted out just as quickly as puppies. We are now heading towards Cat World. Cats have their own world back here because cats always outnumber dogs in shelters, at least 2 to 1. We are going to meet some cats. So where we have like usually between the 400 and 500 dogs here, we have just under 700 cats here. Our goal is to try to keep them out of shelters as much as we can. We do that by having our community cat program. I'm sure everybody knows of a community that might be a little bit overrun with feral cats. What we do is provide the resources to humanely trap them, bring them in to be spayed, neutered, vaccinated, make sure they're healthy, and then release them. It's okay if they want to live out in their communities, but if we're going to reach this goal by 2025, we have to help control the population. If you see an ear tip on a cat that's living outdoors, that's a universal sign that they do not need to be caught again. They are good. The headquarters building for Cat World. This is where you check in for volunteer shifts in Cat World starting at age 9. Cats love stroller rides. You don't even have to pick the cat for the stroller ride. They're jumping right in. They're ready to go. And Cat World headquarters is more for our behavioral or bachelorette kitties. Not all of these guys want to have a roommate. Not all cats like to live with other cats, just the same as not all dogs want to live with other dogs. So we have 20 spaces surrounding this where some of them are living independently. All of these front ones all open up to an office space, because if you work here and have an office, you're probably going to have an office pet. But they have indoor-outdoor access 24/7, and every evening they let a new one wander the halls throughout the night. Extra enrichment. And some of them in there do have a roommate, because some of them are just there so we can keep a closer eye on some medical things that they have going on. Quincy House is more of a medical building. So Quincy's is partly for neurological conditions. It's part for special diets. And then it is also, about a third of the building is incontinent. And that's because a cat's tail is an extension of their spinal cord. You never want to pull a cat's tail. That can damage those nerves. We have some amazing caregivers in here that help those guys. And then Casa de Calmar is a building that we get to go into. And looks like we're gonna run into another tour in here, but that's okay, there's multiple rooms. When I open the door, I'm gonna have everybody go in, around the corner, and into the central room here.
So I'm sure that
Martha's room here. So this is Casa de Calmar. This building is named for Calvin and Martha here. Calvin actually donated the money in Martha's honor to have this built. And he wanted the cats to live among her collection. But don't let him fool you, he was just as much of a cat guy as she was a cat girl. And they had a special place in their heart for cats with feline leukemia. All of the cats in here are positive for feline leukemia. You can still pet them, love them. It's not something you can ever carry out on yourself. And really all feline leukemia is they're a little bit more immune compromised. If they get a cold, they need antibiotics because it can quickly turn to pneumonia or something like that. And it might take a couple rounds. It's a little bit harder to get them over respiratory illnesses. This vaccine that we have for it is showing such a high success rate that we don't have to require that they go to homes on their own anymore. As long as your cat is vaccinated for it, they're not going to get it. It's showing like a 90-95% success rate, but we do still have them live independently here, and smaller shelters still won't take them because with the number of cats that shelters get, or the number of cats we have here, 90-95% only means so much out of 700. Somebody's going to get it. So they do have their own area here. Everyone has like a slightly different viral load. Like I've heard that Franny over there, hers is pretty low. It's not super bad for her. And we do waive their adoption fee because we recognize, we want to help out as much as we can, and we recognize that if they get a cold, that does mean a vet visit immediately just to get those antibiotics for them. And there's hand sanitizer here and on the door, and it's been much easier to grab. Enjoy your time. I love help working. I don't see anybody put it off to make a run for it though, which is nice. One of my favorites in this whole building. Gotta move everything because he's gonna climb all over me. Is this boy?
Oh, I just pressed him.
Hi.
No, get him.
This is Rufus. Oh. He's got a little bit of a cold right now. Bubba. the sweetest boy here.
Morgan.
Total adventure cat. Somebody should take him home so you can take him on hikes.
kitty.
He likes to. But so 700 cats still means that we have to individualize them. They all have to have different names. Everyone's microchipped. We got to get pretty creative.
Oh, what happened
If
to
we
this
ever-
one?
We try not to reuse a name within 2-3 years at a time just because of the confusion. If an animal is adopted from here, you sign in the contract. If you can't keep them, they come back here. So we will say the name just because of that reason, just in case. But yeah, we have to have them all individualized in a species because it would be confusing for medical records to have two under the same name. So in here, the clinic over here also doubles as an admissions building. The cats do have their own clinic back here because not all of them love going to the main one with the dogs. They can use that one, but we also have this one. This also doubles as their admissions because when any animal arrives here, they have to do a quarantine stay so that we can spay, neuter, vaccinate, microchip, make sure they're healthy, and learn their temperament. It's amazing how well caregivers get to know every single cat in their care to know who would do well with who. And to make sure that they're staying healthy.
We haven't seen them.
Colonel's is the largest. That building can hold 120. Morgan's over here is more for... So the front, some of those guys are going through treatments, but not necessarily all of them. The back is the NICU, moms and kittens. And the lobby is for our cerebellum hypoplasia kitties. They don't know they're any different, and they're not in any pain, but they do tip over. They're the wobbly kitties. Mondrian's here is our ringworm suite. They do need to be separated while they're being treated for ringworm because it is highly contagious. But it's no worse than athlete's foot. If you're wanting to visit more kitties on your own, St. John's is an option. That building is open from 10 to 11:45 and again from 1 to 3:30 to interact with some cats. They ask that you park in front of and only go into that building if you're coming back here on your own. Benton's is for our diabetic cats. We will always take a diabetic cat from our network partners because we can handle it here where smaller shelters really struggle with that. And then that in the back of that building, those cats have a lot of different names, but here we call them our working cats. They're cats that might not want to live in your home, but they are excellent mousers. So it's popular for ranchers, breweries, warehouses, places like that to come and adopt them from us. We have 3 working cats of our own on site, one in Horse Haven, one in the shipping and receiving building like I was telling you about, and then one decided to hire herself for our Lower Canyon hay storage. Persistence is key if you want a job. She got the job, and now we feed her. And we are just about to where our cafe is located, but you don't have to take the confusing route that I took you guys on to get there. You can, if you want to go to the cafe, you can continue just onto Benton, keep left onto Seppi, and you're going to get over here to our cafe serving lunch every day from 11:30 until 1. All you can eat vegan buffet for only $5. We've got our bunny house. Our bunny house is bunnies and guinea pigs. They accept volunteers at age 8 and do a tour every day at 2 p.m. There's a privacy fence because the bunnies have indoor-outdoor access and they are easily stressed out, so we keep that tour size small and we give them that privacy fence because of how trafficked this area is. Parrot gardens. Do you guys know why we would have so many parrot-like birds? We're at 130 last I checked. They live so long. 80 plus years for most of these guys, and they're also incredibly picky. If a bird doesn't like you, that bird will never like you, and they're gonna tell you. You're gonna know. They do a tour at 11 every day, and they accept volunteers starting at age 8. We do have them available for adoption, but we require a bonding period, and if they don't like you, we're gonna ask you to pick a different one. This is our state and federally licensed wildlife rehab. She mostly works with wild birds, but that's not all she can do. That's just mostly what comes in here. This is the local wildlife rehab. The goal is to rehabilitate and release. So those are not the animals that you would meet on that tour. If they're going to be released, the goal is to have as little human interaction as possible because the wild does need to stay wild. So those animals that you meet are the ones that, on that 10-15 tour, are the ones that we were not able to release, because if we're not confident in that release, we're going to have them stay here with us, and we're going to provide them with large enclosures, lots of enrichment. Wild Friends is also a catch-all, kinda. If an animal doesn't fit into another category here, they go to Wild Friends. They have chinchillas, dwarf hamsters for adoption. They have turtles, sometimes snakes, sometimes lizards, chickens, ducks, roosters, pigeons. I absolutely loved learning that pigeons are a domesticated bird. The only reason that they congregate so heavily in cities is because nobody told them that they're not anymore. They still see people as where their food comes from. Pigeons are very, very loving, very sweet, very intelligent, and there's even been a pigeon that was awarded the Purple Heart in one of the World Wars because of how many lives she saved. Our view of the White Cliffs, you can also have that view from our cafe. $5 meal, but $1 million view. If you get an outdoor seat, it's a breathtaking view. Gratitude Garden and Angels Overlook. You're welcome to go there on your own until dark. It's a second cemetery location, but also a labyrinth path to an overlook. And it would be a good point to mention, our van has a name because they are named after the Victory Dogs. Has anyone ever heard of the Victory Dogs?
Yes.
For those of you that haven't, yep, Michael Vick.
We're outside Philly. We live outside Philly.
We took in the 22 that they didn't think could be rehabilitated here, and we proved them wrong. We were able to adopt out 13 of them. Most were able to go home with families with children, and 3 were able to become therapy dogs. There is no such thing as a lost cause. They just needed a new, fresh start. Great dogs. They really showed what we're able to do. And we named all of our vans after them and retired their names completely. And if you're walking that cemetery location, you're going to find the final resting place for those guys. They lived out the rest of their lives very, very happy, and most of them in homes. The rest of them that couldn't go home, they were here at the sanctuary, and I hear stories about them all the time from staff and just how loved they were. We're going down Ambush Pass currently. All of the westerns that were filmed out here, this is where the stagecoach was robbed. We keep it nice and bumpy so you can pretend you're really on a stagecoach. So everything that you guys have seen doesn't receive federal assistance. We are a non-profit. We offer memberships starting as low as $25 a year, where you would receive our newsletter, our magazine, and $20 off a night at all lodging of ours. We have cabins, cottages, RV spaces, and the Roadhouse in town. Angel's Rest was the first cemetery location. Over 2,000 wind chimes here, all in memory of somebody's personal pet, because we didn't want to gatekeep it just for sanctuary animals. Everybody deserves this place. They do a blessing the last Thursday of every month. It sounds like a symphony walking through up here. It is gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful memorial. And because we have a special location here for Hurricane Katrina, because of that event and our legislators, there's now a law stating that if you are being rescued, your pet does go with you. That is a federal law. That is a right that you have. Somebody from FEMA on my tour recently said that not a lot of people know that they have that right, and she loves that we're getting that message out. Other ways that we receive funding is our gift shop, that is guilt-free shopping, and our planned giving department, where people have left us in their will. And then some of our corporate sponsors. A really big one is Walmart. Walmart actually donated the land to have that Bentonville, Arkansas Life-Saving Care Center built for us. Is anybody staying in Kanab?
Yes.
Did you know that we're Little Hollywood?
No.
No. Well, we are Little Hollywood. We're about to pass 2 locations that were in movies. Lots and lots of movies filmed in this area. The next pasture over here is the Disney barn pasture, and that is because that barn was built by Disney. Disney built it in 1972 for a movie called One Little Indian, starring the late James Garner, and then Jodie Foster was in that movie at 10 or 11. One Little Indian. And then straight back that way, you'll see a sign if you're going this way on the road for Angel's Landing. It's hard to see from this, doing the tour this way. And we are just about to the main Horse Haven area. Horse Haven was built brand new in 2020. Prior to 2020, we didn't have our own large animal vet clinic on site. We would have to take the horses to Salt Lake City or Las Vegas, but this is our setup now. Let's see if anyone can spot the donkey. He's usually right over here. Is he hiding today? Well, if you do spot him, his name is Shrek. We do have Fiona, she just lives a little bit further back. Maybe he's over here. There he is. That's Shrek. And we ask that guests don't approach or try to feed any of our horses. They all come from different situations. Some can be unpredictable, so for their safety and yours, we ask that you don't walk up to them. Horse Haven does a tour on Tuesdays and Fridays. They start at 10 a.m. where they walk you around the Horse Haven area, and they follow it up at 10:30 with a horsemanship demonstration, where you get to see how our horse trainer works with these horses. It is such a gentle process built on trust and building a bond with the horse, and it is so effective. It's always based on what the horse is ready for. They accept volunteers starting at age 16, and no matter how many horses are here at a time, Horse Haven makes sure that every staff member there has a project horse, so they can ensure that every single horse is worked with every single day. That way they're all used to having their hooves touched, being brushed, being walked. But it is based on what they're ready for. And we are just about back to the Welcome Center. We do have gift bags inside, one for every household, and memberships are a good place to do that is in the gift shop. They can set it up for you. We also have what's called the Action Team. If you scan a QR code that we have in there, we will send you like information about what your local shelters could use for help. And then, like I was saying, we have lodging here, and if you didn't bring a pet of your own, we offer sleepovers. We could give you one. We don't want our pet-centric lodging to go to waste. If you fill out a sleepover form and you're able to honestly check all of those boxes to be truthful, you're able to pick up that animal at their headquarters building by 3:30. And here we are.